Hey everybody, it's your old pal the Moo Cow here, and I'm ready to do another short review for short films. And tonight I'm doing one that's fairly appropriate for what we've got going on these days with the coronavirus out there, and it's a movie called Don't Go Outside. It's about 6.5, 7 minutes long, and it is the Graceland Films Productions. They have a thing on YouTube, a channel where they have a number of their short films, and this one in particular was directed by someone by the name of Gracie Scott. At least I think it's Gracie, Grassy. Um, and it's a pretty interesting little short film. It has a few issues, but basically it's it basically says it all right in the title. It means don't go outside. There's something going on. It basically involves these two friends that are sitting by the fire talking about problems that are going on with their lives, and all of a sudden all these sirens start going off and they don't understand what's going on, and they figure, well, maybe we better go look and see what's going on. The one guy goes inside. I'm sorry. And he hears on the emergency broadcast network that you have to go inside because some dangerous, undetectable something is now in the air, and everyone in a 100-mile radius is going to be exposed to whatever it is, and you better go inside or you're all going to die! So, given that information, they both go inside, and then the lights go out, and then the lights come back on, and they start searching around. They lock all the doors, windows, just like the broadcast thing says, and they start looking around for something to defend themselves with against whatever it is. And they're a couple of Georgia boys, and they don't have a gun. Come on, give me a break. But they come up with a couple of knives and so forth, and all of a sudden one of them starts acting funny, and he's like, I think we should go outside. And the other guy's like, duh, didn't you just hear what the thing said? You don't want to go outside. And he's like, yeah, I heard, but yeah, it'll be fine. So he suddenly gets this funny look in his face and walks really strangely very fast to the door and puts his own ass outside. And the other guy comes running out, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And the other one just runs off into the darkness. So guy number two is like, okay, and he shuts the door, thinking everything's done, but as it turns out, guy number one is already back inside the house and picks up guy number two and drags him outside. That's pretty much it. Um, it's not a bad little film. It has a few issues. There's some continuity issues going on with some curtains and a couple other things, and some of the acting is fairly stilted, to be perfectly honest, but it's directed fairly well. I like the looks of it. I like the premise. I love the idea that you're just kind of there minding your own business, and all of a sudden you hear these sirens, and that's the kind of thing that you hear that sort of thing. It gets your attention, and something bad is going to happen, and you're hoping that you're going to get some help from some officials somewhere. So you listen to the emergency broadcast thing. Okay, and I wasn't 100% buying the emergency broadcast, what they were saying, because usually they would tell you to, if there's a tornado, for example, they would say, there's a storm coming and you need to shelter in place. Well, they're very, very vague, and, some kind of a strange, undisturbed, dangerous thing is in the air. What does that mean? Does that mean is it a gas leak? Is it a chemical problem? What's going on? Usually they give you a little bit more information about things. So it's a little too vague. Um, but in any event, the idea that they are now have to stay in the house shut up against God knows what is kind of cool, because it ratchets up the tension, and you don't know what's going on, and all of a sudden the one starts acting funny, really funny, and then just pretty much runs out. Now, how he gets himself back inside the house and what it has to do with whatever's in the air, I don't know. Um, who knows, maybe a little bit longer of a story might let us know what's going on, but otherwise you're kind of sitting there saying, well, what could it possibly be? Is it something supernatural? Is it something, extra natural? a natural problem? Is it a chemical release? Is it a vampire? Who the hell knows? Um, what with little clues you have, it's difficult to sort of piece anything together that makes any sense. Um, but that's part of the fun, is that there's this mystery going on, and you're not gonna know what it is, because that's not what the film's about. Excuse me. Ugh. I can tell I'm doing this at night. But in any event, it's not a bad little film, and it makes me curious to see what other things that Graceland Films has to offer. So I went on their YouTube channel, and sure enough, there are a number of short films there. So I'll probably do a few more. I mean, like I said, the direction was good, the shots were nice. I liked the music. I liked the introductory screen that sort of brought up the titles of the film. That was pretty nicely done. Um, they could have used a little bit more, a few extra shots could have been retakes with a little better acting maybe, and the one shot with the curtains being closed and then or open and then suddenly closed. I mean, that's a small mistake that somebody watching continuity can fix. They're the kind of things that happen when you're a young filmmaker, and little oopses happen like that. So as you continue to grow and mature and do more work, those kind of things will fall by the wayside. But that aside, it's not a bad little film, and I think everybody should go ahead and check it out. So there you go. Go on to YouTube, check out Graceland Films, and check out the little film there called Don't Go Outside. So that's it for this time for a short review of short films. This is your old pal the Moo Cow, and we will see you on the flip side. Bye.